I have good news and bad news. Actually, that's not true. I technically have good news and good news simply because, to me, bad news, especially this kind of bad news, is really fucking motivating. So it's actually technically good news. So, first piece of good news. Today is my birthday. So, I just found it very kind of, not ironic, but significant that my next treatment would be on my birthday. And given what's been happening over the last couple of weeks, like difficulty breathing and, pain in the ribs, well, not in the ribs, in the lungs, that feels like it's in the ribs and everything, it's just like, all right, it's just like this is a culmination point. And the thing is, my birthday has always been a very important transition point in my life. Every year, I always take time to, sit down, be by myself, contemplate the last year, reflect on everything, contemplate the future, what my next year is going to be like, what I want to accomplish, really have a vision for that year and everything. And before I get into the quote unquote bad news, that is technically good news to me, I just want to mention like I did do something very special and very unique this year because I felt like last year was kind of the year of everything goes wrong, everything's really intense. There's like that progression of it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And then this year, this upcoming year, that's going to be the year where, all right, everything is going to get better and better and better and better and better. And that's why I took the time to sit down and write, well, it's not really a letter, it's more of a statement. So I took a piece of paper, I wrote the date on it, the date 1 year from now, so April 29th, 2025. I signed it at the bottom, and at the center, I wrote, I am 100% cured. So that is what's going to happen this year. By the end of this year, or this year, like my birthday year, not the calendar year, but by the end of this year, I am going to be 100% cured. That is a statement that I'm making, a promise that I'm making to myself, to the universe, to everyone out there who's watching. And the thing is, I don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks or believes. I don't care what anybody who's watching thinks. No offense to anyone. I don't care what the doctors think because from their perspective, what they think will happen is I'm going to slowly get worse and worse and worse and worse until I die. Because no one has ever survived stage 4 of this. And from their perspective, there is no way it can happen. Yes, they're going to do everything they can to help me. Yes, they hope that it's possible, but I know they don't believe it. And I know there's a lot of people out there who don't, which is totally fine because I don't give a fuck, like I was saying, what anybody else thinks. It's not important. It's all about what I believe and how I'm able to express that to the universe. That is the most important thing. So that's why I wrote that letter. So, okay, now that we got that out of the way, the next piece of news, which is the bad news. So today, when I was at the doctor or the hospital getting my treatment, I spoke to my doctor and I explained the situation. So they did a CT scan and then they got the results today. And after my treatment, I went back, spoke to the doctor, and we discussed the results. So they don't have the full results. Obviously, they didn't have time to, sit down and compare and measure all the hundreds of tumors in my lungs to compare which ones got bigger, which ones got smaller. But the overall consensus, the overall impression that it's giving so far is that the cancer has progressed. So there's, one that's really the biggest one. That one we actually looked, he showed me, so we compared side by side the two scans, one from 2 months ago, the one from today, and we could physically see that it grew a good like 20-30%. And there's, from what he was saying, like there's more that has grown also. It seems like it progressed. But the reason for my symptoms, the difficulty breathing, probably the pain also that I'm experiencing, is because of that one tumor that's bigger. And now that it got bigger, it's pressing against my bronchi, which is most likely what is causing these symptoms. So in order to remedy that, of course, we're going to keep doing the immunotherapy treatments. But moving forward, there seems to be a few different options. We don't know anything for sure. The doctor is going to sit down with his colleagues and, explore the different options, come up with the best plan. He's going to present that to me next time when I see him, probably in 2 weeks from now. But there's a few options. So option number one is we do nothing. We, see how it goes for the next few treatments, see how I respond, and that'll determine what we do. The other option is we switch to a different type of immunotherapy treatment, so a different molecule that they use. The potential issue with that is we don't know if it's going to work better. We don't know if it's going to work worse. We don't know anything. And it's possible also that we're not able to do that because it might not be covered obviously it's not going to be covered by, the government insurance, because the one that I'm currently on is not. So he's going to have to, if we decide to go that direction, he's going to have to try to make a deal with the hospital or find funding from somewhere else or something like that. So we don't know anything. So, we'll see what happens. So that could be another option. The other option also, which I will discuss with my radiotherapy doctor, is doing a couple sessions of radiotherapy specifically focused on that one bigger tumor. Sorry, on this side, not that side. On that one bigger tumor, to try to get rid of those symptoms. So the shortness of breath, the difficulty breathing, the pain. I mean, the pain seems to be slowly going away, so I'm assuming that's going to go away by itself like it did the last few times this happened. But for the breathing, that's one option we're exploring. So I'm going to have a meeting with my radiotherapy doctor to discuss that possibility and how exactly it would work. The good news, though, is the conclusion of this is there is no risk to my health, or at least none more than usual. So it's like the only risk is, okay, if I do physical activity, I'm going to have difficulty breathing. That's the only risk. So it's like it's not dangerous for me. In fact, it's good for me to keep doing physical activity. It's just it's going to suck because I'm always out of breath and I'm always winded. So at least it's not dangerous for my health, but it still kind of sucks. So I'm hoping that in the next couple of weeks, we find a solution to get rid of those symptoms. The rest, the progression, that does not scare me. In fact, it fucking motivates me because I'm the type of person who, whenever the odds are stacked against me, that motivates the shit out of me. And the higher the odds are stacked, the more motivated I am. So every time throughout this 10.5-month journey, whenever things get worse, okay, there's a moment where I'm like, fuck, this sucks. But almost immediately, it's like, snap, get a fucking boost of motivation. So it's like, oh, okay, stage 4 cancer, incurable. That sucks. I'm going to fucking destroy this. Oh, I have tumors in my brain. That sucks, but I'm still going to fucking destroy this. Oh, we figured out that the initial source was in my leg. I have a massive tumor, which is also cancerous. That sucks, but I'm even more fucking motivated. Oh, the cancer has progressed. I have difficulty breathing. That fucking motivates me even more because I'm a storyteller. This makes such a more epic fucking story. And I know I'm swearing a lot, but that's just the emphasis, the spirit, the mindset that I'm in. So that's kind of the conclusion summary of everything. So from the outside perspective, from the logical perspective, from the perspective of, I believe pretty much everyone but myself, this is bad news. To me, this is the best fucking news ever. I am more motivated than I've ever been. And I believe with every fiber of my being, down to the deepest part of my core, that if within a year, by April 29th, 2025, I will be 100% cured, making me the first person in the world to ever survive stage 4 of this type of cancer. That is my fucking vow to you, to myself, to the universe. And even though I'm very grateful for my doctors, they're all amazing people, they're very supportive and everything, I'm gonna fucking prove you wrong. So, yep, happy birthday to me. And of course, I pressed the button, it doesn't work. That had to happen. That was the perfect ending to the video. So I'll talk to you some point in the future.